Good American Family creators on finding justice for Natalia Grace through TV and what it'd take to make season 2. Good American Family, by its very existence, is another part of the media-frenzied saga of Natalia Grace. Imogen Faith Reed in the series. The fact of its meta-relevance loomed large for the co-showrunners of the miniseries, Katie Robbins and Sarah Sutherland, from the series' very inception. However, Robbins, who created the miniseries for Hulu, and Sutherland both embraced the opportunity to employ some of the stylistic elements of their former collaboration, The Affair, to truly showcase the finer details of what happened and put audiences into the shoes of everyone involved. However contradictory those perspectives truly were. The show's structure, switching from the perspectives of adoptive parents Christine, Alan Pompeo, and Michael Barnett, Mark Duplass, to that of Natalia halfway through, has a dizzying effect on its audience, and in the finale, we're left wanting so much more, at least in the way of justice for Natalia. The finale finally puts the Barnetts in court, but the case against them is toothless once the judge decides not to allow Natalia's true age to become part of the record. Instead, the Barnetts walk free, at least as free as one can be after everything they've done. They both remain in a state of denial after it's done, but there are slivers of justice for each. Michael has a near breakdown over the realization of what he's gone along with in believing Christine, and Christine loses her closest friend and even the respect of her favorite son over it. Plus, well, there's a new show out there called Good American Family that painstakingly recreates some truly gutting things about what the Barnetts did to Natalia Grace. And it stars some A-list television stars and one heartbreakingly effective newcomer in the central role. To break down the season and the finale, TV Insider caught up with Katie Robbins and Sarah Sutherland. We had an incredible crackerjack research team led by a researcher called Reva Mandelbaum, who was on the ground in Indiana and was there for a lot of the trials, so we were lucky enough to have access to depositions and court documents and medical records and Facebook messages and text messages and on and on and on and on. There's a scene in episode 8 where there are these printouts of all of the Facebook messages, and those are a literal representation of how many Facebook messages there were and how many Facebook messages our incredible team, including Reva and our support staff who were just the best people in the world, dug through. So it was because of that research that we were able to tell this story. By the time we got into the research and understood the extent of the story, yes, absolutely. I mean, we knew that that's what it was about for us, and we greatly hoped that that would be what would land with our audience. That was the idea from the beginning. So Hulu first came to me with the idea of doing a show, a narrative telling of this story, back in 2020. And at the time, there wasn't that much. I mean, it was out there, but it wasn't as deeply embedded in the popular culture as it is now. And so I did a lot of research and read articles, and I was so struck by the fact that, depending on whose version of the story you were reading, it's completely influenced how you saw what had happened. So you'd read an interview with like one set of the people involved, you'd be like, oh my gosh, this is what it is. And then you'd read another one, you'd be like, no, I was totally wrong. It's this.